Welcome to Ask a Puppy Trainer Show. This is where we answer all of your questions about puppyhood. I'm Bethany.
And I'm Sparky from the Puppy Academy. We're excited you're here. And now, let's get to the show. Alrighty, everybody. Welcome to Ask a Puppy Trainer Show, episode 167. And you have Bethany and Sparky here, and we have a new little member. Bethany, do you want to talk about our new little member here?
This is Frankie. I don't know if you can hear the little grunts and groans. I'm not sure Frankie's going to last too long. Hi, little Frankie.
Is that better?
How old is Frankie? She's 9 weeks old.
She's a baby.
She's such a baby. Oh my God.
All right, now you got to take her out. You got to show them this little thing.
Not yet. I will. Not yet.
She just peed on herself.
She's calmed down. She's calmed down since I've done this. It actually is cold in here.
It is pretty chilly in here. She was wiggling pretty quickly.
So adorable. Oh, I'm sorry. Is my hair bothering you? There we go.
I don't mind if I eat it, though.
Oh, my God.
All right. Do you want to start with this one, or do you want me to start with a different one?
It's so tiny. Talk about having to build food drive because of how small these Yorkies and some of these
And they're very used to being held and coddled, so you got to go a little bit above and beyond with your food drive in order to balance the amount of affection we give to training.
It's true. And all the blocking and all the balance training that we talk about, it is more challenging with these size of dogs.
Yep. Because they basically live at our level because they're so small, we don't feel safe with them like even moving around on a leash in our home.
But that's problematic. They need to be down on the ground, and we got to be careful and shuffle your feet more. All right.
That's what we've been doing for a day and a half. Shuffling feet.
Shuffling feet. Oh, you're so cute. So she has a lot to say too.
I can hear her.
All right.
I think we're coming out of the jacket now.
All right.
Tuck her into the crux.
All right. So cute.
Show her to everyone.
So cute.
Oh, Sabinia.
So cute.
Bye, Frankie.
Was today her first day?
Second day.
Second day. Oh my gosh.
She's very sweet, and she knows it.
So cute. Okay, all right, jumping in. Puppy question.
Holy schmoly?
Person, what?
Is it holy schmoly?
I don't know who you're talking about.
For holy schmoly.
This person contacted us on every platform, so you better believe we're going to pay attention. And this is a great question.
Every platform.
I love this because it's a really technical question, and sometimes stop worrying about all the side stuff, and just start to do the work. But this one I really, really like. I think it's really common, especially for dogs that are the size of Frankie. This can actually be a huge game changer. Love your videos. Have a question. We want to hand feed our puppy all of their meals, but we saw your advice that puppies' kibble should be wet. So should we be hand feeding dry kibble while training and soaking it, or feeding from a bowl? When we soak it and feed her, she does take it, but she's not interested in dry for training. We're so confused. Thank you. I think this is from Megan. Okay, so for me, when I first get a dog, the first week I have them, even large breed dogs, this is going to sound crazy to some of you, but I'm a trainer. This is what I do. It's crazy lady stuff. I am going to set their food out on the counter for like 10 minutes with just a little water in the bowl, so all their dry kibble becomes spongy. And put gloves on if that texture freaks you out. I'm not sensitive to that kind of stuff. I can care less. But some people, lots of trainers I see online, they wear gloves. And
I'm wearing gloves for that.
Creepy person, over here. Or not creepy person. Also creepy person. But no, some people are creeped out is what I meant to say.
Sure, pal. Sure. Good recovery. Good recovery.
Some people are creeped out by touching like meat or roast chicken and stuff like that. So I get it. But anyway, just soak it for a few minutes before training. This does mean you got to plan ahead a little bit. That's what I would do. If you want to keep it in the fridge overnight, put like a little bit of meat in there. You could put like a little bit of roast chicken in
I always heard about bone broth.
Just a couple pieces and just the tiniest bit of water, like in a bag. And in the morning, when you do your morning session, everything will be spongy and it'll smell like chicken, which is great too. But anyway, that's just a side tip if you're trying to build a food drive. But anyway, that's how I would do it. And I can feed things, one at a time or a handful at a time of spongy food. And that is how I would do the first week with almost any puppy, but especially medium and small breed puppies. In fact, small breed puppies like the one that you just saw, a lot of times they absolutely refuse dry kibble. Now, if you are doing, say, a 5-minute training session, that's all you have time for. Even if you're doing handfuls of food, they don't even eat all their food. As long as you've got good food drive, go ahead and feed the rest of it to them in a bowl and add a little bit more water to it on top of that. That would be my suggestion.
You can also put the baggie with that kibble, the wet kibble in it, inside of a training pouch.
Damp.
So you're still holding it damp. You say damp?
Kibble.
I don't like that word. Wet. I'm going to go with wet. I don't like damp. It's a gross word. It's like moist. But put the pouch on your hip, and you can put the bag in your pouch still. No problem. So you're still wearing it like a training session. It doesn't have to be like you're holding the bowl, grab a couple pieces at a time. I've seen people do that before. The bowl is very distracting.
I do that sometimes. When it's first thing in the morning, I haven't had coffee yet, and I have to work a puppy.
What do you mean? You're not wearing your robe from our videos?
I just do. No, I totally am wearing my robe, and I just do it out of the bowl. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
But you also have a lot more nuance of how to redirect away from the bowl to the hand.
I know.
Don't do the bowl. It is harder.
But put it in a plastic baggie, and then put that baggie in the treat pouch is great advice on top of it. Do you want to do one of your questions before I go into mine?
All right, this is from Clara. 5-month-old Cavapoo stopped eating 3 times a day. He will only have breakfast and dinner. Is it normal? 5-month-old is a bit early, but yes, it is normal. A lot of dogs at 8 months old, I actually advise owners to stop feeding that middle meal. And that doesn't mean that you eliminate that nutrition from the diet. You just have to kind of split it between your breakfast and dinner. But you also have to ask yourself, how many calories does my older 8-month-old dog need? Which, by the way, isn't really a puppy anymore. It's more of an adolescent dog. So it's like your 16, 17-year-old human kid becoming an adult. So they don't need as much calories if they're not moving as much. So you get them on a maintenance diet, which is a different number on the back of your dog food bag. Yeah. So if they're in puppy growth, that means they're running around all day long, like using a lot of energy. They need calories to balance that. But if they had an older dog diet, or if they had hit an older dog temperament and the energy's lower, make sure your diet reflects that.
I would just add to that if you have like a Mastiff or a Rottweiler or some of these really large breeds, then I would still be doing 3 meals a day because you're having to space out so much food. But basically, if you're not feeding 4 cups of food a day, cut it down by then.
What if their dog won't eat? So the original question is, what if he stops eating lunch?
Oh, well, yeah, that too.
So if he stops eating it, it's okay.
Well, I would also cut down on food probably, unless they're super skinny. Sometimes we might get a Vizsla in here, or
you got to
some
see
of these
what.
Breeds.
Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Some of these specific breeds, they actually do need more food spaced out. But if they're not eating and they're regulating themselves, and there's not a specific issue, then you have to listen to them. Honestly, you should listen to them.
Are you talking about like the giant breed of dogs, like the larger breed size dogs, because they have to develop over a longer period of time,
Correct.
so they need that middle meal for their nutritional development?
Rotties, Great Danes, Mastiffs.
So that's
English
nutritional
Shepherds.
Development.
Yeah.
It's not just we want them to eat that middle meal because they're a puppy. That's specific to the type of breed and the size they're going to be.
They're eating so much food, they're going to be growing for a longer period of time, developing for a longer period of time. Bernese Mountain Dogs is another one.
And now, so if they're not eating breakfast or dinner, or they're eating breakfast and dinner but not lunch, you're cutting down breakfast, you're cutting down dinner to make room for that middle meal so they're hungry for it. I'm just finishing off the question.
Or maybe they still need 4 cups of food a day. I don't know. It depends on the dog. Okay. We did yours. Danielle says, this is an Instagram question. Thank you for being here live. We always want to try to prioritize live questions when we can. My 1-year-old mixed pup doesn't eat in the morning. Oh, does eat? Oh, just like a bite. She eats like a bite in the morning. I leave it down for an hour like you recommended. Did we say an hour? And then pick it up. She devours her dinner. What do I do to get her to eat? So if we said an hour, I apologize. It's like 10, 15 minutes. Okay. And then and then it depends. If you're still in the process, 1 year, you're probably not training for her food. This is not uncommon. A lot of dogs prefer to eat at night. Some dogs will even eat throughout the night. And so sometimes I'll make an exception for the 10, 15 minute rule. It depends on the dog, the situation, the household, all of that, like their goals. But for me, if I want to create urgency and I need to get these dogs eating, it's going to be, you get 10, 15 minutes. And I want to say I promise you, but there are always exceptions to everything. If that dog's not getting enough food at night, the next morning she's going to eat. And so that's what I would do.
I've been trying to read the question this whole time.
Cool. All right. Huffer says, we have a 6-month-old Cavapoo.
Sassy.
We do your online course, and he's on schedule. Okay. When my daughter and I play with tug toys, he darts at our hands and sometimes face. Can you please help?
Do we have a leash on our puppy? Because if we have no leash, then there's not much you can do to counter that. I mean, you could do a body block, but I feel like it's definitely harder for young children to do that. Yeah. If I have my dog, we're on leash, we have our toy. When my dog starts playing, I also want to think about the level of play. If my hands are moving quick, I'm building drive and I'm creating intensity. I'd probably just, and this, I'll be honest, I just want to talk because I've been talking like 5 minutes, but this is more Bethany's field. When you move your hands slow, you're going to minimize the amount of drive you have. If the dog is already driven, then you can move a little bit slower and get the dog following. Mm-hmm. But here's the important step. You got to have a drop in there somewhere and some kind of sit with a break in play. So this would be my method. I have my leash. I have my toy. My leash has no pressure whatsoever. My arm is down and loose by the side. But the minute I'm ready to do a drop and I lift up my toy, bring in my elbow to my ribs, but I feel like my dog is munching closer to my hand, trying to eat up more of that toy to lay claim on it. It's like, I feel like it's almost like a dominance thing too. They want to make sure they're in charge of the play. So they're getting close to the hand to get you to drop it.
It's instinctual for some.
Yeah. I'm going to do pressure up and away while also holding my toy, and I'm going to freeze. So I'm not pulling them apart. You could hurt the teeth. You could pull out teeth
Just
and stuff.
Hold.
Up,
hold
pressure,
firm.
hold firm, wait. And then eventually, you say wait same time. You say, I thought we were going to do it again together.
No, I'm done.
Oh, okay, wait. Damn it, Bethany. You got me to drop an F-bomb on live. Son of a gun. You wait. Don't look at me like that.
I hope her daughter's not watching.
You wait and you hold, and eventually they're going to let go of the toy. The minute they do, bring the toy to you, but that leash pressure is going to stay the same. If they're already motivated to jump at your hand or your face, you can't release that pressure yet until you get a moment of them going, and they just kind of rock back to a sit. Slowly relieve the tension. I'm willing to bet you it's not done yet because I think they're going to go right for the toy when you release the tension. And if they do, lift up and away again and hold. And you're waiting for that moment where you can give slack. They take a breath and they actually allow their body and mind to mentally settle for a second. And then I'm going to give the break and release the toy again. But when I hold my toy, I'm not holding with one hand. I'm holding it on both sides. And I kind of twist in my hands. So I provide a little loop of the toy outside my hands. It's much harder for them to jump forward and bite my hand because my hands are virtually behind the toy as it's looping out in front of me. So it's easier for them to grab, get purchased. Do you want to add to that?
Yep.
That's my style.
So if the food drive, like for plain kibble, doesn't trump the toy drive, behind your back have a bait pouch, treat pouch.
Treat pouch.
And once they have a really good grip and you do the elbow tuck, because I'm assuming you're doing all of that and the waiting, make sure your toy isn't higher than the spine or they will jump up to grab it.
And that's usually with force.
So it's even, and then place it in front of their nose. When they drop the toy, say, drop it. Like, you don't have to right away. Like, just get into a groove first. But the goal is to be like, drop it and then sit. Don't give it to them right away. Or at least I wouldn't if I had this pushy of a dog. I would rainbow lure them into a sit, pause, give them a piece of food, show them I didn't have any food, and then try to get them into the toy again. And I would do this, but once they latch on, I would move more slowly and smaller movements, not bigger movements. That is one of the nicer ways to do it. It doesn't work with every dog. I'm going to be totally honest with you all here. If I have a dog going for my face, I'm like tug, 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 and I go, hold, drop it, and they do drop it, and then they go up for my face. My hands are coming up. I mean, they just are. And the dog probably won't do it again. Just to be honest, most dogs won't do it again.
Call that Bethany tough love.
and then you keep getting them into it and drop it, and they learn context, and they start to get it. My question is, I don't know how old your little girl is. If your little girl is not around, what does tug look like? Because I could be totally wrong. She might have a better energy than you. I come across plenty of 6-year-old kids that are calm and controlled and focused. And then I come across others that are like, and the teeth get on me and they're like, get on them and they're like, oh, and those noises and that jumpiness fuels the fire of these puppies like you won't believe it. And they can't do it yet.
The fake cry doesn't work for every dog. It doesn't work for a majority of them. That's where the dog nips you and you're like, "Arr!" and you yelp. I know you've heard of this cry.
Yeah, but kids aren't doing that.
No, but when their hands go back, it sounds like a fake cry. It sounds like a yelp. The little mini scream, that is going to amp up your dog.
I'm sorry. I think you're talking about something different. I think you're talking about when you go, it's like a sudden, sharp startle. That's not what kids are doing.
I think kids are doing that all day. If they get their fingers nipped, I think they're doing a loud yelp and then pulling their hands back instinctually.
No, they're doing. But anyway, whatever it is, it could be either. It could be either, and a lot of times it just doesn't work. We can sit here and argue about it all day. I'm sure.
Are you sure? I'd love to.
I'm sure some kids do what he said, but not crisp, clean, and then going stoic, which is when trainers say to use that yelp. That's what they mean. Anyway, so if,
it doesn't work for most people.
So try that, see if that helps, not having her around, just to be honest, to get it crisp and clean first before bringing her into the mix, or maybe she has a better energy than you, so just kind of pay attention to those things, because those really, they just make a huge difference. I have one more thing that I want to say. This is for everybody, and it's really important, and it's a really hard thing to do. I myself can't always do it, but I do want you to kind of keep it in mind. If I'm dealing with puppy teeth and I'm dealing with a dog munching up, and they start to get my hands, I am going to channel my ultra toughness of like, I'm fine, suck it up, I'm fine, because having no reaction takes the steam out of that so immensely. And freezing up, because you're trying to get them to drop it, so you do a freeze and you do a hold. Freezing up is so powerful with most dogs. It's the moment you get in motion again and they're like grabbing and catching you. That's a little bit harder. But when you're working on that drop it and they get you, channel that toughness. Because if you do that over the course of a few days and you're much more stoic and calm in general when it comes to fetch, it's going to help you tremendously with a pushy, snappy, nippy dog like this. Kids can't do that. Don't expect kids under, 14 to be able to do this.
Can you invite her to our 4 o'clock for our online class?
Oh yeah, if you're part of this, if you're part of the school,
Jump in the 4 p.m. live, guys.
So for anybody wondering, we had this comment, this really, really great comment.
So that question was from an online student.
Right, but I just want to...
She's tying it all in.
I'm segueing the shameless plug here. Mion says, please help. New puppy coming in, 8-week-old Yorkie-Maltese. Any tips? I don't want to do anything wrong. We have about 10,000 tips. And so that you are perfect for our online school. And part of our online school is you actually get one-on-one time with us. If you would like to see more of us, I can't imagine everybody does. But for those of you that do, at 4 p.m. every Wednesday, it is one-on-one, baby. It's a Zoom, and it's people being able to come and talk to us one-on-one and dive into these issues or questions that you have. So please, I invite you to do that. You want to do one of your questions?
I got one all dialed up. All right, Mia, my dog won't go to the bathroom outside, but when we go inside, she goes to the bathroom. Please help.
Aww.
Okay, we got to get you on a schedule. That's your first step. So your dog
TikTok,
doesn't
right?
I don't know.
Your TikTok?
My TikTok or Instagram? Yeah, you tell
Howdy.
them. You tell them.
I don't know if you can hear that.
A horn was going off outside. We like to talk back to the horns because I think we're dogs sometimes as well. All right.
You're weird today. You know
I know, I'm on.
Really
Super
weird
on.
today.
It's not going to stop either. So you better accept it, let it go, and move on, or it's not going to go
I don't know that I
well.
would call it you being on. I just think you're weird. But
Yes.
But go ahead.
Fighting brother, sister, fighting knives today.
It's weird.
I wanted to slap that phone out of her hand so bad right now. I swear to you I did. All right. We got to get you on some kind of schedule, guys. So that might mean dogs in the crate for an hour, 30 minutes, hour and a half, whatever you're choosing to do. And then when you bring them out of the crate, the reason that we even do the crate is we need to teach them where and how to hold their bladder to create the need to want to go. The need and want to go. So then when I bring them out of their crate, I have them on leash, I take them outside. I pick the spot that they're going to go, but it's usually a spot that they've gone before. So their smell is there, they're comfortable with it. I walk them over, I say go potty, or sometimes it doesn't do anything, so I just wait for them to go potty. And the goal is that they start sniffing the area that you're in. It's even okay if you spin a little bit to motivate them to kind of move from one spot and get sniffed again. But I don't spend more than 2 to 3 minutes out there. And I'm going to give you the basic version, and then Bethany is going to give you the troubleshoot version. The basic version is 2 to 3 minutes outside for the potty. If they do not go, that's okay. They probably got distracted. Maybe they didn't really have to go yet. Take them back inside the crate, put them in there for about, what was the age?
Oh, we didn't get an age.
I didn't get an age. Under 4 months, about 5 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
4 to 6 months, 10 to 15 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes. 6 months or older, I'm doing 15 to 30 minutes, roughly around there. Like, that's my time frames I usually use. And then I'm going to put them back in the crate for one of those 3 time frames. And then I'm going to take them back outside on leash. The on leash is very important. That's what gives you leverage to keep their focus. And then you take them out there, you give them a second opportunity to go potty, and this time they go potty for you. Good pup, good potty. Then you can bring them in for free time. A lot of the issues that people have is that they walk large spaces outside. Every new 5-foot square you pass, your dog has new smells. It's like a new portal to another universe. They're going to start sniffing around, and they're going to get distracted and not be able to go potty. You're trying to help them focus on a job. They're out there performing a job. I'm probably not even going to let them play outside after they go potty, because I actually purposely want to bring them in to create that connection of you are outside for potty and then you are inside for your free time. And then I might bring them out there later on if I do want to play with them outside. But I need that outside area to mean one thing when you come out of the crate. Potty. Just potty.
Yep, creating urgency. It really comes down to that schedule and that,
so important.
That pattern of going back and crate and waiting. And then the only thing, if he said it, I just missed it, is let's just make sure that we're watching the water intake. There's no free water. You're giving water every time they get their out in crate. And then if you've worked with them, they can have another chance at a little bit of water, and then no water 3 hours before bed. That's where you need to start. I have a really fun one. Let's see. I have 2 5-6-month-old labs. How do we stop the nipping? Oh, Brittany. Poor Brittany. Okay, so.
You have 2 of them too? Say 2 of them?
2.
6 months old, so maybe litter mates?
Yeah, I'm not going to go into litter mate syndrome, but I would like you to Google it, and bless your heart if you haven't heard that term before. Strap in and get ready. All right,
Isn't bless your heart an insult?
No.
No, that's what Southern people tell people.
It can be.
Bless your heart.
But it's not always an insult.
Kimberly told me it was. Okay.
It can be. Oh my gosh. I cannot even believe we're talking about this. Bless your heart, okay? Bless you.
Is that a compliment?
No! Oh my God. Moving on. See? These poor people. Brittany. I'm trying to focus here. So I will give you like a little tidbit. Just litter mate syndrome is just they will always care more about each other than about you or anybody else in the house, making it virtually impossible to have any influence over them when they're together. Okay? So I'm sorry about that. But
you may not have it.
No. She's totally got it.
I know. Shh.
Okay.
Let her read it.
So one of the ways to combat this is they need a lot of separated time. I would have them in separate crates, in separate rooms, or at least separation in between them. I would bring them out at separate times. I would be practicing that right away. One dog has crate time while the other dog is out working with me, working with the family, and then switching like halfway through the day. I would be doing that for 3 to 6 months, since you haven't gotten an early start on it. If I'm assuming that you haven't gotten an early start on that. Foundation is everything when it comes to nipping. We're absolutely going to give you some advice on the nipping, but to be honest, if you cannot put a 6-month-old dog, one of them should be able to be in place, like go to their dog bed and lay down while you're working the other 6-month-old dog. And if that's not happening yet, then the advice that we give on the nipping is only going to help so much. The foundation work has got to be super solid here, like the impulse control, them not just feeding off each other and then taking advantage of the family and feeding off of energy. So for me, I would slow everything down dramatically in the house when these dogs are out, even one of them, but especially if both of them are out. I'm moving slower. I'm moving more methodically, more with purpose, for a reason, even just going from the kitchen to the bathroom to the living room, because I'm stopping, checking in on the dogs, making sure they're not following me around, making sure they're calm before I go from one place to the next, all body language, all energy, slowing everything down. And then if they come up to me, I'm not petting them because then I'm just reinforcing the craziness that leads to the nipping. I'll pet them when I call them over to me to be pet, or I go to them to pet them when they're calm. Do not reward them coming up to you, putting their head in your lap, and demanding attention.
And being oh so very cute.
Because then they're giving you the commands. And so you're never going to be able to
We're
stop.
basically taking obedience commands from our dogs.
Yeah.
Human pet, good human.
Yeah.
I'm done. Let me show you I'm done by nipping you. Okay, now we're good.
Which means they would never listen to you for anything, let alone something like nipping. Get a leash on the dogs. And so they're dragging around leashes. I know that labs are huge chewers. You could go get a thin chain leash. This is only when they're supervised, of course. Cut the end of it off. They always have some sort of
leather
strap.
piece, yeah.
Cut it off. And that way, when it gets rough, you can pick up the leash and you do pressure out and away from you and straight up in the air. And you're not lifting the front feet off the ground, but it is like significant pressure where they have nowhere to go. And they have to choose to settle back. They don't have to sit. You'll feel them through the leash on like a flat collar. I would get martingales for these dogs in the house, and you can just feel them settle back. Cloth martingales. Then don't let go of the leash yet. Just relax the leash. Continue doing what you were doing. They go right in for it again. Pressure. This is going to take a lot of rinse and repeat. But the big thing for me, I bet, is affection and excitement in the house. Like that's got to get work done.
I got a piece of advice, but it's not good advice.
What does that mean?
And I'm not writing
you
you
mean not
off.
Fun advice?
Let me deep dive. So I'm not writing you guys off by any means, but I walk into households with 6-month-old labs, littermate syndrome, and as a dog trainer of 15 years, I struggle even doing my job in that situation.
That's a good point.
For an owner to do what we're asking you to do, I mean, you
At
might
6
be
months.
so diligent,
Yeah.
you'll knock it out of the park. But if there's even a little bit of softness, I'm just going to call it weakness. It's weakness for your puppy.
That's because that's how
love.
they view it.
Yeah. It's the weakness of wanting to give your dog love.
Yep.
When it should be training its affection instead because they're being cute. That's really, really hard to differentiate. A trainer walking in your house will say, that's not good. That's not good. That's not bad love. That's not good. That's not good. And he or she can at least show you where it starts, where the main issue is.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Where to start with them.
He's saying you need to get a trainer in your house and take a look at the situation.
You need a professional to break down your household, a balanced dog trainer to come in and break down your household and to say, this is where this issue is, this is where this issue is, and this is where we start. Because we can give advice all day, but man, it's super tough. Littermate syndrome is so tough.
Maverick and Cowboy, how adorable is that? She says she is not offended by my bless your heart. That's because I didn't mean it offensive. I meant it.
I gotta rib her for all of those because she ribs me for them.
In a sympathetic way. Okay. Caitlin says, 8-week-old, haul him in a couple days. Tips for making him comfortable in crate on day 1.
Honestly,
comfortable in crate, you just put him in and you shut the door and you walk away.
And you gotta see what,
and you see what he does.
Oh, I got one. Are you done?
But I would say, this is just a personal opinion, when they're that young, they don't tend to be destructive in their first few days. So I will have some old towels and things like that in there for them to curl up on. But they are going to probably start trying to pee on them pretty quickly after they get comfortable or chew them up and ingest. It's really just for those first few days to get comfortable, and then I'm probably pulling them. But that's what I like to do.
You can also usually drop your breeder a 20 and they'll give you one of the towels that the mother laid on.
Yeah.
That's always really nice because there's a pheromone that they release when nursing that actually calms down little baby puppies very, very quickly.
Like babies.
Yeah, there was one more thing I wanted to say for that. Let me read the question again.
Best tips for making them comfortable in crates.
Nope, forgot it. Probably wasn't very good advice.
But anyway, hopefully that gives you an idea. But get the other thing is get on a schedule. That puppy needs to have predictability from the moment they walk in that door.
What do you say about affection for an 8-week-old super cute little wiener dog who just came in here a little while ago?
Oh, it's so minimal.
Why did we only hold her for 3-4 minutes? It wasn't just because she was whining.
Yeah,
it's because we pre-agreed before ever bringing that puppy in.
5-minute max.
She does have separation anxiety. It's pretty bad. Most wiener dogs do. It's just kind of a thing that they have. They're very close dogs to us. We only were going to do 5 minutes because we already knew we would have ruined her in the crate, in our crate room. simply because we give her 5 minutes or more of affection. So we minimize that affection to maximize her comfort in the crate on her own. That's it. I'm done.
I love this one. And it's going to be short, I swear. Madison, we were late. Madison says 10-month-old Yorkie is not going into his crate for his mid-morning nap like he used to. Seems to not be tired around that time anymore. He does more crate time later on in the day though. Okay, so I'm totally fine if a dog isn't doing crate time in the morning anymore and they're really good in the house. Like it's not an issue. And so they're, laying around, they're not getting into things and they still are having some crate time every day consistently when it's daylight out. I love that. But I am going to put you on blast a little bit, Madison, and I may be reading into this incorrectly. So I apologize in advance if I am. My Yorkie, is it okay that my Yorkie is not going into his crate for a mid-morning nap like he used to? This sentence is confusing for me because it sounds like your Yorkie has the choice. I'm so confused.
Don't look at me, Bethany. I've already been mean today, apparently, so I'm going to let you be mean now.
I'm so sorry we're teasing
Tell
you.
her you're going to bless her heart.
But no, see, okay, God, I'm not going to get into this. Okay, so because I need to be quick. So I actually do have an issue with the way that sentence is worded. It could have been completely by mistake. Maybe you do have a schedule and if you say crate, the dog goes into crate, end of discussion, and you didn't mean to word it that way. However,
she's assuming that dog decided whether it was going to go in or not, which is not okay.
It's not okay because it's the way you're looking at the issue, the potential issues with your dog that they don't want to do it anymore. Like they just don't want to. That's problematic.
It's her.
Yay, haha. I don't give him a choice. He just whines for 15 minutes while he's in there.
We like
Thank
that.
You.
We
Thank
like
you.
that. Because we're going to say it's okay for him not to sleep in the crate and to whine a little bit, but it's not okay for him to make the decision not to go in.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you for the follow-up. We appreciate that.
Yes, thank you. Madison's like, no, I'm not like that. Okay, so after 15 minutes, I do go in there and get him. No, you gotta let it ride out. So definitely don't ever let your dog out of their crate for whining.
Human come, human open, good human. Good human. Yeah, that's your whine.
That's exactly what he's doing.
Giving you obedience commands.
Now, if you think that there's a potty issue, that's different. They're having diarrhea or a younger puppy for potty. There are different whines and you'll have to learn those. But definitely don't let them out. You need to wait for at least a few minutes of quiet before you let them out of crate. And I would leave that dog in there. This is so important. It's the same with kids and adults too. This is a huge issue with adults too. We do not need to be tired and fulfilled by life to be able to be bored and hang out and just chill. And so you want to be training your dog to be able to do that now. It's so important. And it's hard for adolescent dogs, but you got to practice it now. It doesn't matter that your dog's not tired, guys. They need downtime and they need to be like you say, this is your downtime, whether you like it or not, and we're going to work through it if we need to, but it's got to be something that they're practicing regularly, has nothing to do with being tired, unless there's legitimate separation anxiety. That's a whole other thing, not what's going on here.
I think you might also get helped by, if you're not doing supervised separation outside the crate for some part of your free time, your dog is probably near you roughly the whole time. Yeah. You need to create a little bit of space from your dog before they go in the crate.
Like some place duration across the room.
And you can do a back tie. Anyone hearing this, you can do a back tie if you've already taught place in some version of place duration.
Yeah, great advice.
So it's D-U-R, not S-U-R, duration.
Great advice. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you same time, same place next week. Bye.
Thanks for tuning into Ask a Puppy Trainer Show.
We hope you found some advice that you can use to help make puppyhood a little easier.
Don't forget to join us live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific time on Instagram or TikTok at The Puppy Academy.
This is where you can get a chance to ask your burning questions in real time. And if you want even more puppy guidance, visit our website at thepuppyacademy.com for info on joining our online puppy school.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing to our podcast and leaving us a review.
These reviews let more people find us and supports us on our mission to help as many puppy parents as possible around the globe.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.